journal of 2 visits made to some nations of Indians on the west side of the River Ohio. By the Reverend David Jones. February 1st. An Indian lately returned named Othawapelethi, in English the Yellow Hawk, came with some others to Mr. Henry's to converse with me. This Indian is one of their chiefs, and esteems himself as a great speaker and very wife, and this may be justly said of him that he is saucy enough. On this occasion, Mr. John Gibson, a trader, was my interpreter, being a man both of sense and learning. After common formalities were passed, he told me that he wanted to know my business among them, for he understood that I was no trader. First informed him from whence I came, and that my chief business was to instruct them from God, for his mind was revealed to us, etc. That I had a great desire for many years to see my brothers the Indians, now wanted to talk with them, and was in hopes that he would allow me an opportunity. He replied that he thought something of that nature was my business. Then he proceeded to make a long speech, not with a very pleasant countenance, nor the most agreeable tone of voice, and replied to this effect, that is to say,
when God, who at first made us all, prescribed our way of living, he allowed white people to live one way and Indians another way.
And as he was one of the chiefs of this town, he did not desire to hear me on the subject of religion, for he was resolved not to believe what might be said, nor pay any regard to it. And he believed it would be the mind of the other Indians. His thoughts were only natural, and seemed to have no other conceptions of my instructions than as referring to the common affairs of life, consisting in living like white folks. He said that they had lived a long time as they now do, and liked it very well, and he and his people would live as they had done. This Indian seemed like some among us, who consider religion only as state policy. And without doubt, there is enough of such religion in the world, even under the name of the Christian. But this affects not the nature of the religion of the Son of God, whose kingdom is not of this world, but is purely spiritual, which does not promise its avouchers livings and worldly preferments, but what is infinitely greater. It assures all that truly embrace it, that though in this world they may have tribulations, yet in that which is to come they shall inherit eternal life. How often do we find it true that the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of God? This Indian supposed that I would learn them to read, and said it would look very foolish for a man to have a book before him learning to read when old. In reply, I said, that suppose God gave us the right way of living at first, that if any of us got wrong, it would be kind in the other to say, brother, you have missed your way. This is the road you should follow. Adding that he did not know what I would say before he heard me, that he could not tell but what he might like it. And if he would give liberty, if I did not speak good, he might tell me, and I would say no more. He replied that it did not signify to make any trial, for let me say what I would, he was resolved not to believe me. Indians can bear no contradiction. Therefore, by this time his savage soul began to be raised, finding that no good could be done by saying anything more, for it was only making bad worse. Therefore, as the weather was cold and had no horse, begged liberty to stay in town till I could remove. This was granted with coldness. He said, maybe some other nation might receive me, and I might go to them. From this time prepared for my journey, only waiting for good weather, for company and a horse, intending to go to the Wyandottes, but afterwards thought it not expedient. between this time and my departure, was entertained by 3 monitos, which shall be described hereafter. At present shall give a narrative of the most dangerous scene through which I passed.